They're so excited, Liam. I'm telling you. Are you guys excited?
Yeah!
How's it going, gang?
He said, how are you guys doing?
Good! What grade are you in?
Third!
Third?
Oh, they said they're about to be in 4th grade.
Cool. Cool. Let me see. Yeah, sometimes it takes a minute to get other people on.
No problem. We appreciate you doing this so much for us. They have been excited for a week.
Cool. You know, we always think it's really fun to talk to the people out there making. Let's see.
It's ringing. It's ringing.
What's that?
What state are you guys in?
What state? Oh, there's Jay Silver. They said, what state are we in?
Georgia!
We're in Georgia. Hello, Jay
Cool.
Silver.
Hi.
Oh, there he is, guys. They are very excited. I'm so appreciative for both of you joining us.
Dave,
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be here.
Yeah, Dave, who also works at Joy Labz, might be joining us a little later.
Okay.
Us two.
Are we waiting on anyone else, or do you want them? They have some questions ready they would love to ask you guys, or are we still waiting?
No, let's just start.
Okay, I'm going to pull some up to this little hot seat chair, and they will get started.
Guys, I just want to tell you that I love seeing all your faces and seeing all these people that are working on creative projects. It makes us really excited. So thank you.
Oh, they have had a ball working on lots and lots of projects. We have a really cool poster they've come up with, a talking math poster, so maybe they can tell you about that before it's over. This
Whoa.
is, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying whoa.
Yeah, this is Gracie, and she has our first question.
How did you and Jay and Eric Rosenbaum meet at MIT?
She wants to know how the original creators, Jay and Eric, met. We saw something about MIT. Did you guys meet at MIT?
Thanks, Gracie. That's a great question. You know, what happened was I was in a group called Lifelong Kindergarten at MIT Media Lab, which is kind of a group for misfits at MIT who don't fit in anywhere else, who want to study creative learning. And I was sitting under a tree table, actually a lot like this tree table. You see this tree growing? Can you guys see that tree is growing right out of the table there?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I was sitting under a tree table at MIT Media Lab that I had built a few weeks earlier by cutting a hole in a table and taking a tree that someone had thrown in the garbage and take it out and put it in the middle of the table. And in walked Eric Rosenbaum. He was a new student. And he sat down under the table, and there was lights from above. So on the table was like a dappled shadow and light playing on the table. And he sat down there, and before he asked me who I was or anything, he said, "Hey, I have an idea." And I was like, "What's your idea?" And we started working on some Scratch code, which is a programming language for beginners. We started working on Scratch code together, and we had a great time. And then he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Who are you?" And then we were already working together at that point.
Awesome. Thank you so much. They were curious how you guys got to know each other.
Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, he just walked right into my group and joined my group. Yep.
It was a perfect match.
Bye.
All right, this is Javen, and he has a question for you guys.
What was your very first invention do you remember creating?
That's a good one. Liam, did you want to go first, or should I go first?
You.
Sure, I can go first.
Okay, sure.
The first thing that I remember inventing was this game. It's kind of like rock paper scissors, but you can play with more than 2 people. So you go. It's called Liam Mora. So you go 1, 2, 3, go, and then everybody makes a number from 0 to 5 with their fingers. And whoever's got the highest number wins. But if 2 people have the same number, they knock each other out. You got to be the person with the highest number that's the only person with that number. It's kind of like an invention. It's like an idea invention. It's not like an invention that you can hold. You can have it in your mind. I think that's my.
Okay, Jamin, I don't know if I remember my first invention because I think when you're really little, you play with stuff in a way that's not the way you're supposed to play with it. You know, you'll get a toy and you're like 1.5 years old, and maybe it's a block, but instead of stacking it on something, you might put it inside of something. So I think people are just inventing all the time, especially kids, because they're just not afraid and don't know what they're supposed to do, so they just try anything. But the first I remember was when I was like 8 years old. There was a spaghetti eating contest at my school, and everybody was trying to eat spaghetti in different ways. And someone had like a cardboard box that they would lay down inside of, and there was a hole in the top of the box, and people would put spaghetti in the top, and people would lay there with their mouths open and catch the spaghetti. And so I wasn't part of the contest, but it made me think, whoa, there's so many ways you could eat spaghetti. And I was at home playing around, and I took a hand drill, which is just like a drill, you know, where you pull the trigger and it spins around. And I took a fork and I duct taped the fork to the hand drill. And that was all I did. It was just a fork and a hand drill and some duct tape. And I wasn't even sure how to tape the drill. I asked my dad, how do you tape a drill? The Scotch tape isn't holding it on. And he said, oh, there's a stronger tape called duct tape. And so then I was eating spaghetti with the hand drill at the Olive Garden, and I remember the waitress and the owner were like taking my picture, and it was my first invention that I remember, which is like a automatic spaghetti eater.
They're all in this class giggling because on the TED Talk we watched with you, Jay Silver, you modeled that, and they thought that was hilarious during the talk. So they were giggling that they said that that's the one you're talking about because they remembered seeing that one.
That's why I showed it, because it was the first invention I could remember.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, question number 3. This is actually a first grader. She's my daughter, who's very interested in Makey Makey as well. Let me scoot it down. And she has a question for you guys. Go ahead.
I love coming up with new things to do with the Makey Makey. What has been your favorite creation that you have seen?
Well, I almost love every single one I see because each time someone thinks of an idea, it feels so authentic. And what I really love is that, like, you know, like that feeling you get when you have an idea and you're like, wow, I don't know if anyone's ever done this, or I really want to try this. I really love that feeling. It's like even more than the idea is the kind of like this feeling like I could do something. So every time I see a new invention, it seems like someone has that feeling. But I remember one time when someone sent in an idea they had, which was a trampoline slideshow advancer. And it was a younger boy who was like 12 who had made it for his sister for her birthday party, and every time she jumped on the trampoline, it would make the slideshow go further for her birthday. And the reason I like that one so much is because if you think about the thought process that goes into that, that little boy had to think about his sister and what would make her happy, and how his sister could be a performer at her own birthday party, and she loved trampolines and she loved slideshows, and he put it all together, and there was a lot of love that went into that. Liam has seen a lot of inventions too.
That's true. I see a lot of them. A lot of the times when people send us pictures of the cool stuff that they make, it goes straight to me. And I gotta agree, it's very hard to pick a favorite. And I'm trying to think here. I really don't know. One that was very cool that I saw recently that somebody put on Instructables. They made it really easy for other people to make. You made a computer mouse that was in a bubble, a glass bubble filled with water. So when you turn the bubble, it makes a connection because there's like wires on the top of the bubble, and it's only half filled with water. When you tilt it, the water moves and connects the 2 points to make a mouse move. So he would sit on his computer with one hand up like this, moving this orb to move his mouse. And that was kind of a cool new way to interact with the computer. But I really like when people make other people into buttons. I think those are really cool. When instead of turning things into buttons, you're turning people into buttons. So you got like a high five, piano or a high five game or something.
If you don't mind me turning it around a little, did you ever see one that was your favorite?
What was Kylie? What was been your favorite?
The piano one.
The with your hands or your feet?
With my feet.
She made one at the house, and then my third graders, their first day they used it here, they liked the piano with their feet, and they liked figuring out that pencil lead was conductive with the graphite in it. And then we'll have to show you before it's over the poster that the third graders have made, the talking poster. So that's been a pretty cool one. Anything else? That's your favorite? They like the water. Who liked the water? They're all raising their hand. Sorry, can you see them? They're all. They like the water. Playing piano with the water as well. We've had lots of fun things with it. But as a math teacher, I was trying to come up with a way to make it go with my math content. So that's why they made the instructional math poster. So we'll show that at the end. They're super excited. All right, tell them bye. We'll get the next person. Miss
Thank you.
Grayson is coming up. Here's Makey Makey Go. Oh, she has a question. Arduino is the word. On one of the videos, we heard something about Arduino. So she has a question about that.
During our research, we heard about Arduino on the back of Makey Makey. What does it allow you to do?
Good question. If you buy a Makey Makey right now from SparkFun's website, then it will come with Arduino on it. And I think more importantly than that is that there's a thing called Arduino that you guys should know about, which is a tiny computer, just like you have in your phone or your laptop, but less powerful. And you can get an Arduino, which also comes on the back of the Makey Makey Classic when you buy it from SparkFun. And if you get one of those, you basically have a tiny computer for $20 that you can do anything you want with. So what can you do with that? Well, you can hook up sensors and actuators. Well, sensors are like light sensors, sound sensors, and actuators are like motors and relay switches. So let's say you took a light sensor, then when it got dark out, you could actuate a relay. So when it gets dark out, you could make your blender turn on and make a smoothie. So these kind of inputs and outputs, anything that you could sense with your eyes or your nose or your ears, you might be able to sense with a machine. And then anything you can do with your body or with your computer, you can make the Arduino do that thing. So it's like this tiny computer, and it's cheap too. That's what an Arduino is. And it's actually made just by a few people. I know a few of them, and I'm friends with them. And there was no Arduino, and then one day they said, gosh, it should be easier to invent things. And they got together with a few friends, and they made it. And then it became a huge thing, and now there's millions of Arduinos.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brody, during our research, they looked at the Kickstarter campaign for the Makey Makey Go, and they noticed something about the Makey Makey Go that's different from the Makey Makey. So Brody has a question about that.
Why does the Makey Makey Go have to have Earth to complete the circuit?
They wondered, why doesn't the Makey Makey Go have to have the Earth?
We should put that in the FAQ. We're getting a lot of questions about that. So the technical answer, which I'll start with, is that Makey Makey Classic uses resistance sensing. And if you think, and Makey Makey Go uses capacitive sensing. So if you want to make an analogy to electricity where electrons are like water droplets, then resistive sensing would be like sending water droplets through a pipe. And the skinnier that pipe is, the more resistance there is. Imagine trying to blow water through a really skinny straw. You can't get very much water through it. But try to blow water through a big, fat milkshake straw. You could blow a lot more water through that. So that's resistive sensing, and that's where we close the circuit with our bodies. And so you needed to be hooked up to Earth to do that one. But capacitive sensing is more like water in a bowl. Now, imagine the bigger the bowl, the more water you can hold. So we're doing capacitive sensing. A banana is like a little bowl. It holds a little bit of electrons. But if you then touch that banana, a person is much bigger than a banana. So that's like a big bowl that can hold all of the electrons that the banana can hold, plus now all the electrons the person can hold. And we sense that difference by measuring the capacitance. So that's the technical answer. But there's a more important answer, which is a design answer. when you go to make a product, you are thinking like a designer because you're bringing something new into the world. Just like when you're in your bedroom or in your backyard and you're making something up with sticks, tying them together with rope, or just, you know, thinking creatively, you're bringing something new into the world, and then that new thing has meaning. So we thought, what is the meaning of Makey Makey Go? And we thought, you know what? The meaning is that it's the simplest, most streamlined version of Makey Makey. It's nothing but a key that you touch, an object, and it triggers something on your computer. There's nothing else there. So we thought, how can we get it down to just one alligator clip and nothing else? We wanted to get it to 0 alligator clips, but we couldn't do it. So we got it down to 1, and the way we could do that was with capacitive sensing. So there's the technical reason, but there's also, I think, the more important, what is the purpose of this? Always think about, what is the purpose of this in the world? And if the purpose isn't right, you can change that. You sitting right there, and all you other kids in the class and your teacher, you can look at the world and say, why is this like this? And if it's not right, you got to make a change.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Mallory, and something we've been working on is coding this year, and Scratch is one of the programs we've worked on, and she has a question about that.
We have started using the program Scratch combined with Makey Makey. How are you included with Scratch? Involved with Scratch.
Thanks. That's a nice question. I got involved with Scratch as a student, and my professor was working on Scratch at MIT. His name is Mitch Resnick, and he came up with the idea of Scratch. But in fact, his teacher, his professor, who was Seymour Papert, made a programming language for kids called Logo. So what you see here is almost like a family, not a biological family, but an academic family, where his advisor showed him how to make creative coding languages, and then he showed me how to do it. So I got involved when I was just taking a class at MIT, and I made a breakdancing project, and I was learning about Scratch, and I made this breakdancing project, which you can still see. It comes with Scratch. If you have Scratch, you can go in the dance category and load up the project. And they said, whoa, what is this project? Is really cool. And I said, well, I love making, you know, visually stunning projects with coding. And they're like, we need more of that with Scratch. And I got involved, and then I got on the Scratch team and helped them design the language. Because every block that's in the Scratch programming language, you know the little blocks on the side of the screen that you drag and drop and put them in? Well, you know, which blocks should be there? Nobody knew, so we just made up blocks and tried them over and over again for years and took away blocks and put new ones in. So it took a whole team of people working together to make that happen. And that's how I got involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one more question. This is Dominique, and this is Dominic, and he has a question about some other projects you're doing.
Thank you, Dominic.
Do you have any new project you are working on besides Makey Makey Go?
Good question. I guess maybe we'll both answer this question. I'll start, though. I'm working on a lot of new things having to do with Makey Makey Go, because we need the instruction manual and all these things.
Okay.
We're working on a new website to help with Makey Makey and Makey Makey Go and future projects. And the other thing that I'm just starting to work on, kind of, for the last couple of years, it's been in my mind. You know how an idea comes to you, and then you think about it, you get excited, and then it goes away, like a cloud, you know, floats away. But then it comes back to you. Some of them do. Some never come back. So this one keeps coming back to me. So I'm like, this must be important. Something in my intuition is telling me, I've got to do something about this. So this project is a video game project, and I want to make it so you can play video games, but make things at the same time in the physical world. So that's my new project, and it's about video games with none of the violence and none of the closed-endedness. You know, video games often have a goal, like a single goal. That's called convergence, when everything comes to one point. Well, a lot of video games all come to one point. You win at the end. But I want to make a divergent video game system where you start at the beginning at the same point as everybody, but everyone goes on their own path. Because I think that when everyone goes and ends up in a different place, which is called Divergence. I think that's a more beautiful world full of diversity and beauty. I'm going to make a video game system like that. I don't know, Liam, if you want to answer in regards to Makey Makey or
Sure.
Otherwise in your personal life. It's up to you.
Yeah, right now I'm working on a meme contest. Do you guys know what memes are?
No.
I do, because I did one.
They're like funny. Yeah, Amy
I
made
need to show it to them. I haven't shown it to them yet. He'll tell you about the contest, but he commented on Kylie's meme last night on the picture. Liam commented, so I'll have to share that with them.
Oh, they could actually enter, right? If they wanted to.
Yeah. You listen to Mr. Liam, and this might be a contest you guys can enter. Who's interested in getting a free Makey Makey Go? Okay, here you go. All right, listen to him.
Okay, so we're doing a contest where people make memes. Memes are this funny concept that just emerged out of the internet, where people take funny, just simple pictures, either that they've taken or that somebody else has taken, and they just write a really simple joke on there. I mean, you could get into it. It's a whole complicated thing. I'm sure people are doing their doctoral theses about it. But here is one. Have any of you seen that picture before? That little kid, he's like, because he's doing really good. And he says, I can take selfies with my sippy cup thanks to Makey Makey Go.
Yeah, you can do that.
It's like the little kid is just like he's psyched. So we are doing a contest where people make their memes that are about Makey Makey Go, and tomorrow the contest ends, and then on Monday we'll pick 10 of our favorite memes, and 10 people will get a Makey Makey Go prototype before the other ones come out in November. So if you guys want to make a meme, I'm sure Amy can explain the rules and help you guys out with that. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. Can you tell him thank you?
Thank you.
Okay, that was all of our questions, Mr. J and Mr. Liam, but we appreciate it very much. I want to show all of the kids to you first, and then we'll do that. Let's see if I can, you guys can wave.
Hi, it's nice talking to you all.
If they want to come to the board, let's see if I can get the computer turned this far. We'll see. I'm not sure, Mallory, if we'll make it. Okay, you can take it down. This is the poster. It's not plugged in now, girls, because the projector's plugged in instead. But it has, up top, it says name that shape. Come here. Come this way, son. So they have different points of contact on there, and they're going to present it tomorrow at their end-of-the-year ceremony to parents to show how to combine Scratch and Makey Makey to go. Oh, they want you to see the back where all the awesomeness is.
This is the Makey Makey on the back.
So they're using that poster to teach their parents about shapes at their end-of-the-year ceremony tomorrow. But we appreciate you guys very much for taking the time out of your day to join us. Thank you so much. What do you guys say?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It's so nice to talk to all you bright faces. We know that you guys are the ones who are going to invent the future and are already thinking of wonderful ideas. To see all you guys is just great for us. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Bye, Mr. J. Bye, Liam.
Hi.